Hello everybody and welcome back to Let's Play Braid. So we're going to be on to World 3 now. Yes, World 3, the second world though. So, on the last video we kind of got introduced to the main concepts of Braid. We saw a couple puzzles that required a little bit of thinking outside of the box, but most of them were still heavily based in platforming as opposed to intuitive thinking. That changes as we get further and further into the game. Although there is still a decent split between platforming and puzzling, we start to move more towards time manipulation and kind of having to think abstractly inside our own heads in order to determine how to solve a puzzle. And if you didn't play Braid but only were kind of tangentially aware of its existence, you might have thought that the only thing you can do with time in Braid is rewind it, and this is not the case. In fact, every single world in Braid introduces a new way that you can manipulate time, and in doing so the puzzles always seem fresh, and one of the more exhilarating things is figuring out what to do with these new tools you're given in every world. And if you were watching there, you noticed that we're introduced to green tinted objects on World 3. And green tinted objects, their conceit is that they're not affected when we rewind time. So if we pick up a key that's green and we rewind time, we go backwards in time and the key stays in our hands. If we pick up a regular key, then the key goes back to wherever it was at that point when we rewound it to. And similarly here, by picking up that green key and then rewinding time, we caused that platform that was blocking the puzzle piece to go up, but we went back to the position we wanted to be in. It's gonna get a little confusing when we try to talk about time in this game, but I'll do my best to keep it as obvious as possible. It will help if you pay attention to what you're seeing on the screen too. So on this one, we have two puzzle pieces, but both of them are set up in pretty much the exact same way. The top cannon is shooting cloud bridges at us that are affected by time. So if we go back in time or hold the shift or B buttons to do so, then those clouds will either move to the right or stay still, depending on whether we're holding the button down or tapping it. The one on the bottom is shooting green cloud bridges, so they aren't affected by time. So by rewinding time, or at least pausing time by just continually tapping the button, we can create our own kind of makeshift bridge to get across to these puzzle pieces, and that's exactly what I just did. So with those two puzzle pieces down, let's move on to the next part. And this is actually relatively linear, this level's puzzles, as far as Braid goes anyway, about as linear as Braid gets. So, I was reading online the other day that in 2008, Braid was actually the second best-selling Xbox Live Arcade release. The #1 bestseller was actually Castle Crashers, so I gotta say 2008, pretty good year for Xbox Live Arcade. Oh, well, you know, I guess 2009 was pretty awesome as well, considering Shadow Complex came out that year, and 2010, of course, had Super Meat Boy, Limbo. It's been a great platform for a lot of games. So what we're going to do here is we're going to stand not where we want to be right now, but where we want to be in the future when we rewind to the past. If that makes any sense at all. Here, let's look at it in motion and see what happens. So we rewind time, go back, stand here, and because I stood on that far right platform a little bit before I stood over where I wanted the empty space to be, we can just get out that way. Oh no, I've gone cross-eyed again. So this level introduces a new enemy to us, and, you know, where's the holy hand grenade when you need it? These rabbits are actually really annoying and surprisingly effective at killing me. If you saw that fuzzy green animal up there at the top, what we need to do is actually kind of the closest this game gets to an escort mission. We have to take him back so that we can jump on him. So I originally went over to the right, so as I rewound time, I would come back and we'd be on that platform simultaneously with the fuzzy green enemy. And that's exactly how that went down. It doesn't always go so smoothly, I can promise you that. So this next one, the next puzzle piece that we have to get on this level, is actually one of the more, at least to me, it was one of the more challenging ones to suss out the first time I played through the game, and actually on subsequent tries as well. But we'll cross that bridge when we come to it, which is actually like pretty much right now. But first I'm going to try to kill all of these rabbits, because they can get in the way, to say the least. And the problem with jumping on them is sometimes you'll jump on them and then jump into one of those fireballs. But, you know, since we can rewind time, it's not a huge deal. So what we want to do here is we can see that one cannon shoots bullets that are not affected by time. So I lined them up so that cannon was shooting the bullets that were affected by time. Unfortunately, I botched things a little bit by rewinding time, and by rewinding time in the manner that I did, I set things off sync. So I actually have to go back and get them realigned. But hopefully that'll give you a chance to actually see it in action again, because I don't know if I did the best job explaining it. We're going to keep rewinding time until we get it so that the bullets are colliding with each other, like that. Good. So every second bullet gets hit by the other cannon, which this gives us a big enough space to get up to this puzzle piece and then move on to the next level. If you don't do that, try as you might, you will not have enough time to get to that puzzle piece. I promise you that. So this level is called Irreversible, and we'll see why probably in a few seconds. Basically, there's kind of a mechanic in the level design, let's put it that way, that means if you have to rewind time more than a couple of seconds, it's going to be impossible for you to beat the level. So as you can see, we've got these two platforms kind of seeing which one's going to come out first. We need the one that's going to come out to the left to come out first. But because we rewound time, because I died earlier, or I got hit a little bit earlier, then the other platform had a chance to get there first and block the path of the platform that we wanted to come out. So pretty much we have to wait for that bottom platform to get priority over the vertical platform, and then we can go back in time. And again, I'm doing my best to use language that is not confusing, but I'm not sure how successful I'm being. Now we can start rewinding time again, now that that bottom platform has successfully made it out of the aperture. So we're just going to play the waiting game a little bit here. wait until we can get within range of that puzzle piece and then come back around. This is not the only reason the level is called Irreversible, actually, because there is another part of the level coming up just now, where there are two puzzle pieces where it's possible if you do things in the wrong order that you won't be able to get to the second one. So first let's kill this rabbit, because otherwise you might go down the ladder and have the rabbit actually block the hole when you're trying to escape, which can be kind of a piss off because there's really no way to get him out of there. So now you see, if we have a regular key and we put it in a green door, then the green door is not affected by time, so when we rewind time, that door stays done, but we can reuse the key. This is going to be of vital importance on this one. So we don't want to use that first key yet, because that first key has it's got some more important uses for us. We want to get this key that was located down at the bottom, and then be very careful not to jump into that top key. That can be a real piss off. So this key is not affected by rewinding time. So if we go back in time, we still can't reuse it. So let's go over here, pick up the regular key that we will be able to reuse on this green door. And then we'll pick up that puzzle piece because we were able to reuse the key. If you weren't following all that, I encourage you to play the game yourself, and maybe you'll get a better feel for why these things make sense. Obviously, I've had a little bit of experience with the game, so that it just sort of it feels right to me. But I might not be doing a fantastic job of explaining how that puzzle piece becomes inaccessible. In any case, all you need to know is that's the way you do it. So now we move on to Lair, which actually does not have a puzzle piece in it, but it does have a boss fight, which is actually pretty rare in Braid, but it's a good one. It's pretty cool. So we'll obviously that key is pretty easy to get now that we know the mechanic of the fact that green tinted objects aren't affected when we rewind time. And all we're gonna do with this guy is drop these chandeliers on his head. As you can see, he's got 5 spikes on his helmet, so bonus points if you sussed out that you need to hit him 5 times. Key thing you can learn here is that you can get hit by the fireballs as long as you're rewinding time. So I'm invincible as long as I'm rewinding time. He can hit me with them, headshot me over and over, it doesn't even matter. So it's a good idea to kind of stay in the rewind mode for as much of this fight as you need to. Not to mention that you have to rewind anyway after you drop the chandeliers. And you can do kind of like a little chandelier remix there to get him with the 3rd hit. So we'll hit him 2 more times, and then we'll be able to get that key that's located on his breastplate right now, and exit to the next level. Actually, the last level of this world, which has some pretty devilish puzzles in it. Ones that, I wouldn't blame you if you had to use a walkthrough for these, or at least we're stuck on them for quite some time. I remember my first time through the game, I had a lot of trouble with that. So having defeated the boss, or the mini-boss, I guess, since it's not the end of the world, we can make it into the next level. And a tingling is pretty much how I felt the first time I actually managed to get both of these puzzle pieces. So you can see a puzzle piece on the left and a puzzle piece on the right, but the puzzle piece on the right is about to be blocked by that stone barrier that's coming down, and there's no way we can get to that right now. So you're better off not wasting your efforts. Instead, what we're going to do is focus on this puzzle piece right here. And I'm not going to explain the mechanics of how this works because, quite frankly, it'll cause my left brain and right brain to become horribly intertwined with each other. I'll probably end up in the hospital. Suffice to say, we're going to get this key and just hang out here for a minute. Just relax, and then go back to that switch and hit it again. But we're not going to rewind time. We're actually going to walk back. If you rewind time, you won't be able to get that puzzle piece. I should say if you rewind time right away, because we're going to rewind time as soon as we hit this switch. Go down here, hit the switch, and then we can rewind time. And if you haven't noticed, you can change the speed at which you rewind time, either by using the left and right triggers or the up and down keys on the keypad, depending on which version of the game you're playing. And this, I'm not sure if it ever becomes essential, but it's really, really helpful. It gives you much more of a buffer zone when you're dealing with time in these puzzles, as you are with most of them. So having gotten that puzzle piece, we're going to come back here and use this key to get through to the right side. And we'll actually be able to get this puzzle piece on this playthrough. We don't have to exit and then come back into the level. But you would, I could easily forgive you for not understanding how we're going to do that yet, considering that barrier has been down for, several minutes at this point. All we're going to do is make the relatively dangerous trek across this Super Mario World style terrace here. I guess in Super Mario World it wasn't so much of a terrace as a cage, but in any case. Come back here, and then we're going to get on this platform, and by stepping on it, we get imbued with the green tinted powers as well. So now Tim is not affected by rewinding time. Thus, by going backwards in time as fast as we can go back to the very, very beginning of the level, when the stone barrier was, in fact, not quite down yet. Now, you've still got to be pretty quick here, and it's going to be a tight squeeze. But most of the time you should be able to make this without too much trouble. I mean, if you get hit, you have to rewind time anyway, so I'm not gonna say it's foolproof, but as long as you're trucking along, you shouldn't have too much trouble. So even here, I didn't have a lot of clearance there, and I had a pretty rough time getting to that puzzle piece to begin with, so you guys should be okay. So that marks the end of World 3, the second world. In terms of gathering all the puzzle pieces, but there's a couple more things that we can do. One of the things that actually not everybody knows about Braid is that puzzle pieces aren't the only collectibles. There are also collectibles that are stars, and the only way to get the best ending in the game, and in fact, some might consider the canonical ending in the game, is to collect all 8 of these stars. So by putting these 2 puzzle pieces together, you can see we make kind of a star shape. One complaint I have, planning on getting all of the stars, which is going to be a hassle in and of itself, to say the least. But I was going to do it a little bit later. This is the only star, to my knowledge, that has to be gotten right now. Because if you put together the World 3 puzzle, then you can't get the pieces back and set them up like this in order to cause the star to unlock. Which, has probably pissed off many a player after they finish the game, including myself. So what we're going to do here is just keep trying to get them to line up, and we'll know that we did it right when you hear that twinkle twinkle right there. And then by using the bridge on this level, on this puzzle again, and kind of using it as an elevator to propel us upwards, we can quite easily get to that star, just by jumping in the background. I love that Braid constantly challenges the notion of, like, what's the background and what's the foreground, or even what's the game and what isn't the game, because quite clearly we're still playing the game even though we're in the hub right now. I hope that didn't sound masturbatory or, art for art's sake. Now we come to, my personal Everest, making a puzzle. Don't know what it is, I just have, a little bit of a hard time making these puzzles. As I said in the last video, the time I should have spent as a kid making puzzles, I instead spent playing video games, and how ironic or how coincidental that it now comes back to haunt me in a video game. I suddenly want to play some Banjo-Kazooie. Who's with me? The sad thing really about this is that I absolutely have done this puzzle probably, half a dozen times, maybe even more, but I know how it looks, I can picture it in my head, I just can't put it together. which I guess is kind of it's a big problem if you're dealing with puzzles. I've got almost the whole bottom row complete, but, you know, now that I'm watching this myself, I can easily see which piece goes there, but for now I'm just watching the gears turn as I try to figure out the riddle of the Sphinx. So we can see we have some people toasting there. Looks like they got a little bit of adult grape juice. The hard part is that this is kind of a repeating pattern in the picture. So just because there are pieces that seem to match up doesn't mean they actually match up. Just because the same kind of look appears over the course of the entire puzzle. And again, I was 99% positive that that piece went there, but... Alright, now looks like the riddle of the Sphinx has finally been solved. Only got these 3 pieces to put back together. Alright, I've got it. And as you can see, we're at some kind of dinner function here, where our titular character maybe is having a few alcoholic beverages. Alright guys, thanks for watching. I will see you next time in World 4.